If I had to guess what your least favorite part about potty training is or is going to be, I'm gonna go with potty accidents. Now, nobody really wants to deal with potty accidents. It's not fun to clean up pee and poop. I totally get that. But what I want you to know is that it's part of the process. I bet you've heard that before, and you know that going into this or while you're navigating it, that you are going to be dealing with accidents around your house, cleaning up clothes, all the not so fun things about potty training. But what I want you to know is that there is a way to get past potty training accidents. There is a way to handle them that is going to help you get to that point, and when to know if the potty accidents that your child is dealing with are something to address, be concerned about, what to do about these potty accidents that might be lingering for longer than you expected. So before we dive into what to do about potty accidents and when to know if there's something to be concerned, I want to talk about what exactly is a potty accident. Now, you might be thinking, of course I know what a potty accident is, Sarah. I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here, but let's just make sure. So a potty accident is when your child pees or poops anywhere but the potty. Now, the reason that there's a little bit of nuance here is that you may choose to potty train your child with a pull-up on. And that is a totally valid option if that's what works best for your family. You may be wondering, is it an accident if my child pees or poops in a pull-up if I am giving them the pull-up? So I don't have one specific answer for you. What I want to tell you is that it's dependent on what your goal is. If your goal is to give your child some space to pee and poop in a pull-up while they also learn to pee in the toilet, then you don't necessarily need to consider it a potty accident. If the goal for you is to have your child in a pull-up so that there is just a barrier to mess, and the goal still is to get all of their pee and poop in the potty during this process, then you may consider a pee or poop in the pull-up as an accident. Now, you may be wondering, why does that even matter? So when it comes to identifying what is a potty accident, it's helpful because it is going to then guide you in how you're going to respond. So if your goal is not necessarily for your child to stop peeing or pooping in a pull-up and just to gradually expose them to the potty, then if they pee or poop in their pull-up, you can just kind of carry on. But if your goal is to get that pee or poop in the potty, they're not in a pull-up or they are in a pull-up, whether they're wearing underwear, whatever the case may be, if your goal is to get all of the pee and poop in the potty, then you may consider it an accident if they pee or poop anywhere else. So let's talk about when potty accidents should happen. Now, that sounds a little bit funny to say, but I want you to think of it like this. In the beginning stages of potty training, potty accidents are to be expected. Your child is learning a very, very big new skill. They aren't necessarily at the point off the bat that they're gonna know that their pee or poop goes in the potty. This is part of the learning process, so accidents are going to happen. Now, of course, there are some unicorn kiddos out there that might not have any or very many potty accidents, but the majority of kids are going to have some accidents, especially in those early stages of potty training. So that's one of the times that you should expect potty accidents to happen. Another time that potty accidents are likely to happen is when you go from one step of potty training to the next. So if you are starting out with your child bottomless, when you add clothes on, it is likely that they're going to have some accidents. I wouldn't let that be alarming. It is part of them learning, okay, this is a new expectation, this is a new feeling. I have to now learn how to apply the skill that I mastered while bottomless to while I am wearing clothes. So that is a time that accidents might temporarily increase. Now, the idea is that it should be temporary, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But again, this is a time where accidents might happen. Another transition could be sending your child off to daycare or school for the first time after you started potty training. There may be an increase in accidents. If they are going to a new playground or park or with a caregiver that they're not used to, there may be some accidents because this is new for them and they have to learn how to navigate using the potty with a new scenario, situation, with new people, whatever it may be. So that's a time where accidents can kind of be expected during the process. I want you to have realistic expectations for how potty training is going to go. And I want you to keep in mind that when there are changes, if you're adding clothes, new location, new people involved in the process, there could be a temporary increase in accidents during that. Now, to switch gears a little bit, let's talk about when we don't want accidents to happen. So we don't want accidents to be happening for long periods of time. If you start potty training and your child is continuing to have accidents and you're not seeing progress, that should be a sign to you that something about your approach needs to be shifted. Something about the way that you're trying to potty train is not clicking for your child, and you need to consider some different options. There's nothing wrong with needing to change up your approach. Every child is different. Kids learn in different ways. Some approaches are going to be better for some children. It's okay. Just keep in mind that if your child continues to have potty accidents, it's not coming together and they're not making progress with learning to use the potty, that just may be a sign that you need to switch things up. Another time that it would be a little bit of a red flag to have potty accidents happening is if your child was doing great with potty training, they're initiating and telling you when they have to go, at least on occasion. They're, not having potty accidents, and then potty accidents sneak back in. That could be a red flag that there may be something going on. Now, it could just be due to something small that changed in their environment. Maybe they got a new teacher at school. Maybe they, had one accident and they got a little bit uneasy and lost a tiny bit of confidence. Those are scenarios that you can probably easily work through by just giving some extra reminders, giving some extra encouragement, maybe temporarily bringing back a reward. But if seems like there's no real connection on why your child is having this accident, that would be a time where I would start asking yourself what could be going on. Is it that they're dealing with constipation? Do they have pain or discomfort while they're using the potty? That could be a sign of a UTI or, again, constipation. Maybe other health concerns that you absolutely want to check with your child's doctor about. If there's any new onset of fear or anxiety when it comes to the potty, these are all things that you're going to want to take a little bit of a closer look at instead of just waiting to see if they figure themselves out. In some very rare cases and small scenarios, they will work themselves out if it is due to something small like a change in a teacher at school, or maybe you moved houses and there's a new environment that your child is learning to use the potty in. These are part of the process and part of your child learning to use their potty skills. But if there's other things going on, or your child's bathroom experience just seems off or different than what it was, that would be a time where I would suggest kind of taking a closer look to figure out how can you help your child through this hiccup in potty training. Now, in general, I want you to know how to deal with potty accidents when they happen. So regardless of when they are happening, whether it's in the beginning stages of potty training or it's later on down the road, if a potty regression pops up, if your child is having an accident when they start at a new daycare, I want you to know how to respond to the potty accidents. Because in general, my recommendation for this is going to be the same regardless of what's going on. And the number one thing that I want you to do if your child has a potty accident is to do your very best to stay calm. Now, I know that we're all human. I am also not perfect, and I've had my moments with my own kids where I don't respond in the most amazing way, right? We're human, but I want you to know the best way to respond is calmly, okay? I know cleaning up a potty accident is no fun. I know that you don't want to be wiping pee off of your carpet and you don't want to be cleaning poop out of underwear. I totally get it, but for your child's sake and for their learning opportunities, I want you to stay as calm as you can. And I want you to direct them to go to the potty so that they can get cleaned up, okay? You can have your child sit on the potty if you feel like they didn't completely void, or if that's just an easier way to get them cleaned up. It also can help them make the connection that pee and poop goes in the potty. So you can direct your child to the bathroom, have them sit on the potty. If they're giving pushback to that, of course, you can just change them and get them cleaned up in the bathroom so that there's still that connection between the bathroom. But the idea here is that you're staying calm, you're getting the situation cleaned up, and then what you're gonna do after you've gotten them cleaned up and the situation is calm, remember, you're keeping it as calm as possible. You're going to give them a reminder of their potty expectations, okay? You're going to let them know what to do next time they feel those sensations of needing to pee or poop. You're going to encourage them to tell you next time if they need help going potty, that they need to go potty. You're going to be supportive. I know that it may feel frustrating again. There could be feelings of wanting to give a reprimand because it feels like your kid knows what's happening and that it feels like they're doing it on purpose. I promise your child is not doing it on purpose. They're learning. This is a big skill. It's difficult. There's a lot of factors that play into your child having success with using the potty. So I just want you to be mindful that it doesn't help to give your child reprimands. It doesn't help to punish them. It doesn't help to be hard on them about this. They need your support. They need your encouragement. They need to be motivated to learn this skill for the future scenarios when they feel like they have to pee and poop. And you are their guide in this process. You are the trainer in potty training, okay? So I know that's a lot of pressure. I know that's a lot of responsibility. Parenting is no easy feat. I know exactly how it feels as a mom myself. And I want you to know that it is going to get better. You are going to get to the other side of potty training. And the best thing you can do for yourself and your child is to just be their support along the way. So to recap that, if your child has a potty accident, when you notice that that accident happened, you're going to remain calm as you possibly can, direct them to the potty, get things cleaned up, and then you are going to remind them of their expectations for next time. Now, there are lots of other strategies that you can layer into that other times when they're not having potty accidents to promote potty success when they do feel the sensation of needing to pee or poop. And those are all things that would be more specific to what's going to work best for your child. How can you motivate your child? How can you keep those reminders and keep them tuning into their body? There's lots of different strategies that you can explore. There's also lots of other ways that potty training can be difficult. And I go over all of those things in the potty problems guide. There are 5 common potty training problems that pop up during potty training. Now, potty problems is just one of the ways that potty training can be a challenge for your little one, okay? And I want you to know what those problems are that could potentially arise so that you know how to handle them ahead of time to try to prevent them from happening and what to do if they are happening. And that's why I put all of this information, the 5 common potty training problems, what's normal and what's not normal, when there's some red flags and a concern that you should address. I put all that information with tips on how to handle them in the potty problems guide. You can get the link in the description so that you can download that. It's totally free. And if you want more potty training tips and information on how to make this process as smooth as possible, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and make sure you head over to one of my other videos, Making Potty Training Easy in 3 Easy Steps. I'm gonna go ahead and link that in the description too, so you can just pop right over to that video because it also is such a big help when it comes to making your potty training process go as smooth as possible. Easy, it's in the title. I know potty training may not always feel easy. There's gonna be moments where, you're feeling defeated, but I promise if you follow these strategies, you're going to get to the other side and it will make the process so much easier on everybody.